Cody Johnson, and we are Drew Code Sports Talk. And this segment is going to be about the NBA. Who is getting in? Who's getting out? Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Cody, who's getting the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference?
Well, let's see. Currently looking at it right now, my money's on the Heat. I think the Bulls, they're trying to make a small push. I don't think they're going to get in. I definitely think that Charlotte is out. They're too far gone, and definitely think that Miami's probably going to outdo the Pistons, but the Pistons kind of have an easy stretch for most of the season remaining. For example, they've got 2 games with the Brooklyn Nets that are left on the schedule, 2 games with Orlando, and then 1 game with the Knicks. So that's 5 winnable games if they play their cards right, that they can increase their lead into the 8th seed to make it harder for Miami to catch up to them. But on the tail half, though, of that, they've got, and this is the Pistons, have Toronto, Houston, Memphis, and Washington on the back half of that. So, if they can just come away with half those games, they'll probably win and keep the 8th seed. But Miami looks like they have a little bit of a tougher road because they've got 2 games against Toronto, Boston, Detroit, Cavs, and 2 games against Washington. So I'm going to say that Miami is going to get in as the 8th seed. Be really close, though. And I actually kind of think that Milwaukee Bucks are playing pretty good this year, and I think that they're going to take over the 6th seed for the Pacers at the end of the season, too.
You just kind of alluded to it a little bit. Indiana Pacers have the 6th seed. They're 2 games over 500. Their remaining schedule is pretty decent. They got 6 out of their 12 games remaining left are opponents with winning records. The Milwaukee Bucks, like you said, are the 7th seed, and they have 5 out of their 13 games, teams over 500. So, but the key thing that I did want to bring up with the Milwaukee Bucks and why I don't think they'll actually overtake the Indiana Pacers is 8 of their remaining 13 games are away.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of let's see, I'll name all 8 of them. We got Portland, who is currently 9th in the Western Conference, so they're making a push for the playoff run.
Right.
Sacramento, which isn't going to be too tough.
They're competitive, though. They're just They're not a scary team yet, but they are competitive.
Charlotte, who I love, Kemba Walker.
Yes.
At Boston, who that's probably going to be a loss for them.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma City, which that's going to be a tough game. At Indiana. So you have that at Philadelphia, that won't be anything. But then you have at Boston again.
Yeah.
So to have 8 games within 2 weeks away is tough, and then to face Boston twice in Boston, that's going to be really difficult.
I think my thing though with the Milwaukee Bucks, why I think that they'll probably take over the Pacers for the 6th seed is the Greek Freak. To me, he's just a phenomenal player. Obviously, the best player on his team, and I just
say his name.
I can't. He's Greek Freak on this show. But in my opinion, though, he's just going to not let his team get that far behind. And I think they will sneak in there because the Pacers, they're not a very consistent team. You and I were actually just talking about this right before we went on. They're 2 games under 500 or above 500, pardon me. And they're completely underachieving this year with the roster that they have. Because I honestly think that with Jeff Teague and rookie Miles Turner, Paul George, and then you've got who's the shooting guard? Glenn Robinson III. He's phenomenal. I really like him a lot. And then there's another one. He's bounced around. Monte Ellis. He's actually a really good off the bench scorer if they utilize him a little bit more, but he hasn't gotten his shots off.
He's old.
Yeah, his point average has fallen off. In my opinion, they should have a better record and a better seeding with the roster that they have. But I don't know if it's the coaching, I don't know if it's the players' execution. But in my opinion, they should be better, and that's why I think Milwaukee will overtake them.
Well, I think the Pacers have been struggling because ever since they lost Coach Vogel. I really like Frank Vogel. I thought he was really good. They just, they weren't beating, the big 3 in Miami. And really, that was their only downfall. They were really good. They were one of the tougher teams.
They had really good defense at the time, too.
Currently, right now, in the 8th seed is the Detroit Pistons. And honestly, the only reason they are the 8th seed is because Miami Heat both of Miami Heat and Detroit Pistons are tied, but the Pistons hold the tiebreaker for the season series. They are at 2-1, and Miami and Detroit do play one more time this time, or in the next 2 weeks. They do play. I don't see Miami winning though. I don't see them overtaking it, even though they are tied. They have 11 games remaining. 6 of them are against winning teams. You're going to be going against Toronto, Boston, Detroit. So those first 3 games that you're playing, you're going against teams who are in the playoffs, or well, Detroit might be. Then you got New York twice, which you can probably are winnable games in that one. But I don't trust them against Denver. I think Denver beats them. They have Charlotte. I like Charlotte, Toronto, Washington, Cleveland, Washington. I mean that's a really tough remaining schedule. And I don't think the Miami Heat has the firepower. Hassan Whiteside I really like. They're playing really good as a team. And I would make a push that Eric Spoelstra, honestly, even though with a losing record, could possibly be Coach of the Year candidate. Because with the roster that he has, to do what he's doing, he's so underappreciated because everyone thinks the only reason he was a good coach is because LeBron was there, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Spoelstra has proven to me this year for sure. I've always liked him, but for this year has solidified that he is a really good coach. He deserves to be.
I actually think because of him, they will get in because he's found a way to get them on a hot streak right now to where they even were in this position. Because just a month or so ago, they were well back there. I think they were almost 7 games behind, and they pulled it this close with the A seed. And granted, in the early season when they've lost those games to Detroit, Detroit owns now the tiebreaker. But I do think that they will find a way. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did find a way to beat Washington or Toronto at least once. And they have shown that they've beaten the Cavs, but this also is going to be contingent. Is LeBron going to play on the Cavs during this game or not? You know, so I think that Spoelstra will find a way to get them there. Very competitive team, and they've got really good players. And they've got Whiteside, they've got Dragic, they've got Waiters, and they've got Tyler Johnson from Fresno. That's
from
Fresno. And he represents very well. He's a very good ball shooter. So, I mean, I think that Miami will find a way to get in. I just don't trust Detroit. I just think they're too inconsistent. But from the looks of it, it looks like they've got the easier stretch schedule coming up than Miami. But I think that'll test Miami and get them over the hump, in my opinion.
I have Chicago overtaking the 8th seed. And the reason I have Chicago is I believe in Jimmy Butler. That's number one. Dwayne Wade has actually gotten better during the course of the year, which is really rare to see an older player get better during the season. Usually you see him on a hot streak in the beginning and then he kind of starts fading a little bit. Dwayne Wade has done really well as of late. They're only 2.5 games behind Indiana for the 6th seed. They're only a game behind the Detroit Pistons. So I really like the Chicago team. 2 out of their 11 games are against winning record teams. 2 out of 11 remaining.
So they've got, it's pretty much theirs to lose.
They have Detroit, they have Philadelphia, they have Milwaukee, Cleveland, Atlanta, and then it goes downhill. New Orleans, New York, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Orlando, and Brooklyn.
See, we got to be careful though because people keep laughing at Philadelphia. They've actually got a pretty good young team, and they'll surprise you. And in my opinion, if Joel Embiid didn't get injured or didn't get shut down, they would actually probably be the 8th seed. I really do think that they would have made that big of a push to get in the playoffs at least because they were a really good team with him. They were out rebounding, out shooting. They've even got a really good rookie. I think, forgive me if I can't pronounce his last name. I want to say it's Sarge. Very good rookie player. I think, in my opinion, he's going to be Rookie of the Year. And I just think that team will surprise you. Obviously, they're not making playoffs now without him, and they've got rid of Noels. But I really do think that they will surprise some people and will probably ruin playoff chances, and one of them being probably Chicago's.
See, I think without Embiid, Philadelphia has lost a lot. They haven't been the same. They have not been the same since Embiid left. I do agree with you on Saric. I really like that kid. I think he's great. And honestly, I feel like he deserves to be on a better team. Ben Simmons is out for the year. I mean, they've had so much turmoil. I think they're done.
Well,
I think
we'll have a whole other discussion about Philadelphia and why they're not successful, but we'd be here all night if we talk about
exactly.
that.
I just think that the Sixers with who they have and with all the injuries that they've gone through, I don't think they're the same team that we saw in the middle of the year or in the beginning of the year.
Right.
Where I would completely disagree with you of them being in the 8th seed. That's not to say that that's absolutely crazy. I just don't think they would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, especially, I think they're done. And honestly, New Orleans, I don't trust. They have Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis are not playing great with each other. And I don't even think DeMarcus is going to be in New Orleans next year. That's my personal opinion. And so I just think that this season is basically a dud for New Orleans. I think Cousins is over with this.
And which is sad too, because they didn't give up too much except for I think a couple of first rounds, and really this is just like a vacation spot for Cousins, and who knows where he's going to end up next season. But
it's unfortunate. I kind of wanted to see them make a push, but they've been really bad.
You know what hurt them though? It was when they started coming back from the All-Star break. They were only, I think, a game and a half behind the 8th spot, and then they go and Luke go. I think they went 6 of their first 8 games back from the All-Star break, and then it just kind of tailed off from there. They've been the same since.
So your 8th seed is going to be Miami.
Yeah, I'm saying Miami.
I'm saying my 8th seed is going to be Chicago. That's what I'm saying. All right, so speaking of the NBA, speaking of 8 seeds, what about the Western Conference? With less than 15 games left in the season, who gets that 8th seed? The current 8th seed is the Denver Nuggets.
I think Denver Nuggets are going to keep it. Actually, I like the shooters that they have and the team that they have. A couple of notable games that they have coming up, though, that'll really test them. They've got the Cavs, Houston, 2 games with OKC, and 3 games with the Pelicans, so I think those games will really test them. I kind of... You know, if Denver keeps their good hot streak and just keeps passing the ball and shooting, because that's what they have a lot of shooters. I think if they just keep that up, they'll actually find themselves in the 8th seed, and they'll just get bounced by a better shooting team than Golden State. So,
you know, like I said, I put on the Sacramento Kings on here. They're not going to do it, even though I actually think they're better than when they had Cousins. They actually seem like they're playing better as a team. Still, there's no way. The Timberwolves, I think they're done this year, even though I would love to see them in because I think they have such great young talent. They need Zach LaVine.
On my notes here, I actually put if they had LaVine, I actually think that they'd probably be in the 6th or the 7th seed because they are a better team when they've got Wiggins, LaVine, Rubio, and Towns. When they have those 4 players, I do think that they're a very, very good team. And especially now that Towns is having to pick up more of their scoring because LaVine's not there, he's turning into a big man that's now getting 25 and 12 a night nowadays, and that's very good for someone that's in their 2nd year. So.
So I think Minnesota's out. Like we just already discussed, New Orleans, I believe, is out. I love Anthony Davis. I think he's a transcendent player. But I don't think they can get there. They have too tough of a schedule left, and it just doesn't look good. I like the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're a late bloomer, but I think honestly it's too little too late. And the reason being is Portland and honestly Denver. It's between those two, in my opinion. I like Portland. I like to see them in. I think Damian Lillard is such an underrated player.
You'd like to see him on a team that's actually winning, and who knows, maybe 1 or 2 more pieces for Portland, and they'll get over that hump. But I think with Lillard and McCollum, those 2 are really good. But it's almost like those are the only 2 scoring the ball.
I love CJ McCollum. He is starting to become one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's been a great player, and he's got a great attitude. If you hear interviews with him, he's just a lively guy. He doesn't have anything negative to say, and I really like that, especially in an NBA player nowadays. 4 of their 12 games remaining are against winning record teams, so it's very doable that Portland could win. And then Denver had 5 of their games are against winning record teams with 12 games left as well. So both teams could make it. Either team I'm okay with. I feel like Portland might make it just because McCollum and Lillard have been a team a little bit longer. With this Jokic kid, he's really good. I like him a lot. He still has to learn.
Yeah.
And I don't really trust anyone else on the Nuggets other than him.
Well, I mean, they've got Nelson there, that's a great leader, and then they've got the rookie Murray, who we saw in the Rising Stars game, shoots the ball really well. And they've got that rookie point guard, Mundy. So they've got players, and who knows, they could surprise us. They've been a pretty good team. I didn't think that they'd be this good, that's for sure.
No.
And in my opinion, I don't think Portland will do it. They're going to run close. I don't think they'll make it because it's only Lillard and McCollum, and that's pretty much it. They need more inside, more rebound presence, and I don't think that they're going to get it. And I think Denver will just pull away as the season winds down.
All right, well, I do appreciate you guys watching us. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is all Drew Code Sports Talk. We appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown us.